Welcome to something special. Welcome to TEDx. This TEDx event is part of a global conversation that takes place every day in every corner of the world. In schools, in theaters, in workplaces, even in prisons, people gather to hear the best ideas bubbling up in their communities. More than 3,000 TEDx events are held every year in 170 countries. It's a remarkable thing. TEDx events are self-organized under a license from TED, a non-profit organization devoted to discovering and sharing powerful ideas in the form of TED Talks. It's not TED itself, but your local TEDx team of volunteers that has done all the work to put on today's event, including booking all of the speakers. It's this team's ideas, dedication, and time that have made this possible. We really hope today's program sparks an exciting conversation. This is a day for curiosity and for skepticism, for inspiration and for action. The more you enter into it, the more you will take out. And now, on with the show.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Leslie Herod, your host for TEDxMileHigh. I'm so glad you're with us tonight. Jump in the chat and let us know where you're joining from. Now, when they told me the theme of this event was Uncharted, I thought, sounds about right. 2020 was an unprecedented year. Between COVID-19, the racial justice movement, and the American election, our lives were made unrecognizable. Millions of people experienced the unbearable grief of losing a loved one. Health, housing, and employment were suddenly uncertain. Loneliness took its toll. If that's you, I see you. But maybe there is a silver lining. Perhaps the pandemic was the interruption we needed to wake us up, to make us question everything we do. Why do we spend 40 hours a week at the office or more? Why don't parents have a flexible work schedule to spend more time with their kids? Why is mask wearing common in Asia, but not here? And why do we pay essential workers so little when they keep our communities going? And something near and dear to my heart, why don't we have first responders for mental health? The future we expected in March of last year, it's gone forever, and there is no going back. But our eyes are open, and I think that presents a tremendous opportunity. COVID-19 gave us a blank slate, a second chance, at designing the life and the world that we want. So what do you want? What does your experience, your expertise, your wisdom, and your heart tell you? Because the future is not set in stone. Our actions have a profound impact. We can steer our lives from one future to another and chart a new course. And that's what this event is all about. We have a great show in store for you with 2 sessions, an intermission, and a lot of surprises. Be sure to check out the event program and the links we share in the chat throughout the event. And before we get to our first presenter, I want to hear from you. Where are my parents, my aunties, my uncles, my teachers? Where are you at? Jump in the chat. As adults, we have a huge responsibility to help our youngsters chart the course of their lives. How do we raise happy and healthy kids to be happy and healthy adults? Our first talk is about just that. She's a PhD candidate in education at Rutgers University and specializes in the history of autism intervention in the U.S. She founded Teach, a community outreach project focused on respectful, neurodiversity-informed parenting and teaching. Please welcome Robin Rosigno.
Let me tell you what happens when your child receives a diagnosis of autism spectrum disorder. After months of appointments and testing, you're ready to get them help. You attend all of the parent meetings, you buy all of the books, you join all of the Facebook groups, and everybody tells you a different thing to do, a different diet, a different therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, equine therapy, therapeutic Minecraft, Lego social skills, sensory taekwondo, and your head is spinning. You are also told that there's a developmental window, and if you don't act now, it's going to slam shut, and there will be no more development, ever. And so, autism parents, you will probably find this talk while you are up late one night Googling autism interventions, trying to figure out which one of the 37 recommendations you've been given will be the one that will actually help your child. And lucky for you, this is not a typical autism talk. A typical autism talk starts with me listing off a series of statistics: how 1 in 54 kids have autism, how much autism costs parents and taxpayers, how high the divorce rate is among parents of autistic kids. A typical autism talk is meant to terrify you, but I'm going to present a different idea. What if autism isn't that scary, but that your fear is being used to make a lot of people very wealthy? My daughter was diagnosed when she was 2 years old, and after sitting through a couple appointments with her, nodding along, thinking to myself, I do that, I do that too, I was diagnosed with autism myself in my 30s. Professionally, I was an elementary school special education teacher for 6 years before leaving to pursue my PhD in education in 2016. Oh yeah, and my dissertation is on the history of autism interventions. So I guess you could say I know a little bit about autism, but I'm gonna tell you what I see. In my professional life, in home, at school, and now with the parents that I work with. I see a lot of kids losing their childhoods. I see a lot of stressed out parents second mortgaging their homes to pay for yet another therapy. And I see their relationship with their children deteriorate in the process. This is not a natural consequence of parenting an autistic child. In the 1990s, the estimated US total lifetime cost of autism services was $1.2 trillion. In the 2000s, that number increased to $2.1 trillion, and in the 2010s, that number nearly doubled again to $4 trillion. You would expect that with this kind of spending, we might see increased educational attainment or employment for autistic people. And yet, only about a third of autistic young adults attend any college, and just about a half are employed in their first 6 years outside of high school. Also, only about 19% of autistic young adults live outside of their parents' home, the lowest rate of independent living of any disability group in this age bracket. So, spending is increasing, but autistic people are not reaping the benefits. So who is? The autism industrial complex. You may be most familiar with this term when it's used to describe the military industrial complex, which works like this. Weapons manufacturers and military contractors are in the business of war. The public fears for its national security. Lobbyists and media organizations exacerbate those xenophobic fears. Politicians pass more militant foreign policy, which then makes more war, which then increases profit for wartime industries. And the cycle continues. In the autism industrial complex, which is a concept I've explored recently with my colleague Alicia Broderick, the business is autism services and interventions. And the social system that it runs on is also built on fear, specifically parental fear. The more scared you are of autism, the more money you're going to spend to try to fix it. And while autism has only been a diagnosed condition for about 80 years, it didn't take long for miracle treatments of all varieties to be marketed towards parents. To make sense of it, let's look at the most prevalent autism treatment, applied behavior analysis. ABA is the only therapy for autism that's covered by insurance and something that most autistic kids will experience in their lifetime. I know when my daughter was diagnosed, I was handed the script for ABA the same day as her diagnosis, like most people. Applied behavior analysis was marketed as a miracle treatment for autism by O. Avar Lovaas in the 1960s, and his methods were extreme. He and his staff used physical punishment like electroshock, striking children, for any behavior that they considered deviant. And from the beginning, applied behavior analysis has been strategic about its economic growth, and autism has been its bread and butter. Autism Speaks and other autism organizations like TACA, Talk About Curing Autism, and DAN, Defeat Autism Now, all leverage the idea that autism was a kidnapper, a thief, robbing parents of their children. Many successful fundraising campaigns have been built on this idea, and the market for autism interventions grew to meet this new demand. You might also not be surprised that ABA is one of the most controversial therapies among autistic activists. They call themselves ABA survivors after being forced to endure years and years of a therapy whose ultimate goal was to make them seem less autistic to a neurotypical eye. It's also been called autistic conversion therapy because of its historical ties to gay conversion therapy. And much like gay conversion therapy, nobody is any less gay or autistic at the end of it. Survivors recount being physically restrained or being forced to make eye contact. Plus, there's an emotional cost to being told that progress means masking your autism better, hiding who you are from other people in order to be more accepted. Imagine how exhausting it is living every day of your life pretending to be someone that you're not so that other people are more comfortable around you. What a horrible message we're sending to autistic kids and adults. And this isn't a thing of the past. I do consulting in schools, and I've walked into schools to find autistic kids being isolated or restrained face down on the ground. If this happened to neurotypical children, we would call it child abuse. Those teachers would be barred from ever teaching again. School administrators and principals would lose their jobs. It would make national news. And yet this is happening to autistic children all over this country as we speak. So what am I suggesting? First, let me tell you what I'm not suggesting. I'm not suggesting that when meager funding is allocated to autism services by the federal government or by insurance companies be rescinded, or that autistic kids don't deserve quality services to meet their physical, social, and educational needs. Autism is a disability, and many autistic kids do need and benefit from certain forms of therapy. But as parents and as a culture, we need to stop pretending like it's our ultimate goal to make autistic kids as non-autistic as possible. Autistic kids always grow up to be autistic adults. And let me assure you, autism isn't the evil child stealer that you are led to believe. The worst case scenario for your child is not that they'll end up autistic, it's that they'll have a horrible life. But the autism industrial complex will make you believe that those two things are the same, and it's not true. It is possible to have a great life as an autistic person. Instead of worrying about how normal your child will be or how well they'll pass as neurotypical, parents of autistic kids should begin with the end goal in mind. What would a great life look like as an autistic person? Reverse engineer the therapies you need to get there. But the solution will never be to make your child non-autistic because they will never be. In the last year, I've been using my AuTeach TikTok account to educate parents about what services and supports will truly help their autistic children thrive, to be their best and most comfortable autistic selves. With this perspective, let me tell you what I see. I see parents canceling their exhausted preschooler's third therapy appointment of the day to go and take a walk outside and to play and laugh. I see parents getting on their kids' level and learning about their world. And I see autistic kids thriving. No one benefits from your fear of autism except the people who want to sell you the antidote. The real antidote is accepting your autistic child for who they are and then getting them the supports that they need. Schools can work to create more inclusive and accepting environments for autistic children. Governments can work to enact policies that benefit autistic people across the lifespan, not just as children. And we all can work to unlearn ableist, limiting beliefs about autism. You don't need to pay for hope when it's sitting right in front of you.
What an incredible start to our event, Robin. Thank you for all of the work that you do. If you found this event because of Robin's TikTok, let us know in the chat. Up next is a native of Northeast Denver, a multimedia journalist, historian, community organizer, and my friend. In 1994, he founded Brother Jeff's Cultural Center, located in the historic Five Points District. He's also the publisher and editor of the award-winning monthly publication, 5 Star News. Please welcome the master of discussion, Brother Jeff.
I'm driving along the road less traveled, and suddenly a truck covered in mud comes barreling down on me. I look to my right and see a burly white guy. He's dressed in camouflage and he's peering at me like a predator about to pounce on its prey. My low fuel light begins to flash. As I'm stuck between fight and flight, he smiles, throws up a peace sign, and speeds away. Amongst the rubble and the dust, I see his back bumper, and there's a sticker that reads, "Eracism." Eracism. I know what you're thinking. Is this yet another talk on race? Yes, but this talk will proceed where others end. I founded Brother Jeff's Cultural Center in 1995. It's located in historic Five Points in Denver, Colorado. I have facilitated countless talks and workshops on race. I'm going to share with you how to arrive at that noble destination, eracism, in 4 steps: awareness, observation, conversation, and action. The first step is awareness. And I have a question. What is racism? Ask 100 people that question and you'll get 200 answers. Some use race and racism synonymously, but they're different. For example, most people in the United States identify in terms of race. That's not a problem. The problem is racism. I define racism as the evil twin of race, or the shadow side of race. Race is a relatively new concept and was conceived in 1795 by Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. Blumenbach was a German physician, and he had the notion to collect skulls and rank them in order of beauty. Skulls like his, he termed Caucasian or white. Skulls like mine, Ethiopian or black. He had Mongolian yellow, Malayan brown, and American red, referring to the indigenous people of this land. At this point in my talk, someone's invariably going to say, aha, race is a social construct, and it is. But before I sign off on your continuing education credits, I have another question. Aren't most, if not all, human social interactions social constructs? Time and money come to mind. In fact, building social constructs is what humans do. It's like our gig. Awareness is important, but it won't lead us to our goal of eracism. The second step is observation. Close your eyes and observe when race first came online for you. Did race show up alone, or was race accompanied by its evil twin, racism? Now open your eyes and think about what you observed. For me, race showed up alone. I was raised in the wake of the Black Power movement, where James Brown said, "Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud." Cassius Clay became Muhammad Ali, and Negroes turned black. My blackness has always been the source of deep pride. Sadly, for others, blackness is a badge of inferiority and shame. The latter is due to racism. When did you first observe racism? I first observed racism in 1977 while watching Roots. It was a television miniseries that aired for an entire week. I'll never forget seeing Kunta Kinte being strung up a tree and brutally whipped until he accepted the name Toby. I would later learn that names and naming are very important, but that's a different talk. I also observed racism when I traveled to Ferguson, Missouri. This was in the wake of a black man by the name of Michael Brown being shot and killed by a white police officer. The city went up in flames, literally. State Senator Rhonda Fields asked me to facilitate conversations based on deteriorating relationships between the black community and law enforcement. In heated situations like this, there's a natural inclination to make conversation the first step, but that never works. Never. What works is time, space, and pre-established relationships. As you can imagine, those early sessions were filled with venting and little conversation. That's normal. When the venting subsided and the conversations began, I was struck by the focus on guns. Growing up in an inner city, guns have always been negative and attached to hurt, maiming, and killing. Through conversation, I learned that there are those who have positive relationships with guns. I remember a sheriff talking about guns used in sport and him bonding with his father while hunting as a child. That never crossed my mind. In fact, my opening story is based on that conversation. From one perspective, you see a burly white guy in camouflage as a racist. From another perspective, a sportsman in the moment of celebration after sacking a deer. Conversations in the right order can lead to positive outcomes, as is the case with the black community, law enforcement, and legislators. We were able to agree on bipartisan legislation that was signed into law. That's an example of the last step, action. While traveling to the United States from Ethiopia on Ethiopian Airlines, passengers included Ethiopians, Sudanese, Congolese, Kenyans. There were Germans, French, Spanish, and others. We even had a layover in Ireland, and many Irish boarded the plane. The moment we landed in Washington, D.C., and those passengers, no matter how complex their identity, exited the front door, they were reduced to white, black, or a person of color. That's how race works in the United States. That's not how race works in other countries. While I was studying in South Africa, I was shocked to learn that blacks and coloreds are not the same. The apartheid government would arbitrarily determine race by seeing if a pencil would remain stuck in your hair or fall through. Strange, but true. I remember talking with a man who grew up white. He showed me his identification card was changed to black after he married a black woman. In the United States, I was looking for some windows, and Raul from South America was my salesman. When I introduced myself as Brother Jeff, he got real solemn and asked the same question that many of you have. Are you a minister? No, I said. Brother means black. Raul replied, why is racism such a big deal in the United States? Racism is a big deal in the United States, but it doesn't have to be. At the start of this talk, I promised to offer you 4 steps to racism: awareness, observation, conversation, and action. Remember the passengers that landed in Washington, D.C.? If you want to erase racism, do not exit through the metaphorical front door. There's another exit, the one with the added legroom and the extra responsibility. It's the door where you're in charge, the side door. But before you take action and swing it open, ask yourself, what benefits and costs are associated with the door you choose? This talk may seem like an oversimplification, and it is, because race and its evil twin racism are simple. Prior to race, people identified by nation. Prior to nation, religion. Before religion, I would imagine who stored the most grain. Racism is simple. In fact, we can follow the lead of the very first anti-racist. His name is Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. Blumenbach would later discover that his theories on race were unfounded and exited through the side door. If he can do it, so can you. Which door will you choose? Thank you. Or as my friend Raul would say, muchas gracias.
Brother Jeff, thanks for helping us understand how we can erase racism and for all the work you do in our community. Up next, I want to thank some of our partners. A massive thanks to Galvanize. They are a technology ecosystem for learners, entrepreneurs, startups, and established companies that meets the needs of our rapidly changing digital world and brings everyone together under one roof, including TEDxMileHigh. I also want to thank our longtime partner, the Betcher Foundation, which believes in the potential of Coloradans and investing in our most talented citizens and high potential organizations. We're grateful to have a number of Betcher scholars with us in the virtual audience today. Now, as a politician, you can probably guess I might be a bit of an extrovert. I love meeting new people, learning about their lives, catching up over a craft beer or cocktail, a green chili breakfast burrito, or a massive plate of Rocky Mountain oysters. Just kidding. It's a Colorado thing. If you know it, you know. If you don't ask. Regardless of where you live and what you eat, one thing that is true in COVID is that dining and nightlife looks a lot different these days. Our next presenter researches urban design and alternative methods of transportation. His research was awarded a 3-year post as a visiting professor at Raybound University and 2 Fulbright appointments. He co-authored and edited 4 books and spearheaded the formation of the World Society of Transport and Land Use Research. Please welcome Kevin Krizak.
When you think of most cities in the US, images like this come to mind. Little green space, lots of fast-moving cars, bumper-to-bumper traffic, and humans waiting at curbs and crosswalks, clearly outranked by the automobile. Since the dawn of car culture, urban transportation planning has been fixated on moving automobiles quickly. Now, 1/3 of all the land in cities is set up for cars. We add lanes to 6-lane highways, We cut down trees to widen two-lane residential roads. We pave over scarce open space for surface parking. Many car owners effectively pay double to reserve up space at home and work. Providing for cars was a massive investment and has provided us immeasurable flexibility in how we travel. But our dependence on them, the costs, the noise, the pollution, have taken a toll on us. We can now do better, and here's how. I've been studying transportation and environmental design for 25 years. I've encouraged designers, engineers, decision makers, and the public to look beyond our current car as king model. But widespread change has been slow to come. And then COVID-19 hit, and we went into lockdown. Conventional rules that kept the auto at the top of the heap were ditched almost overnight. We opened up our streets for people walking in the middle of them. We opened them up for outdoor dining and those emerging techie modes of getting around town. This meant more room for regular bikes, electric bikes, and all forms of wheeled devices that are cleaner, lighter, and more convenient than cars. Signs like this went up, scenes like this appeared. Using street space to preserve physical and mental health became an imperative. Now, many cities have been trying their hand at alternative street designs for decades. These initiatives gained sudden traction. A natural experiment was unfolding. What happens when cars take a backseat to people? It propelled my colleague and me to start studying these changes in 55 of the largest cities in the US, and what we found is thrilling. The cities that are innovators in our study are closer to finding solutions to some of the most pressing and challenging problems of our time, like climate change, equity, safety. Seattle was one of the first to jump into action. I was on their bicycle advisory board 20 years ago with Bill Nye the Science Guy. For decades, they've dealt with that crumbling auto infrastructure, all those bridges and viaducts. They've long been striving to bring more equitable access to more people on the streets. Shortly after the lockdown, the city unfurled a 30-page playbook to use their street space better. A few weeks later, 26 miles of streets were closed to through car traffic, opening them up for people on foot and bike. The city chose these particular areas because they were underserved by existing pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure, and they were in neighborhoods that were experiencing more of the impact from the pandemic, both from a health perspective and an economic perspective. A month later, the city mayor of Seattle announced that 20 miles of these streets were going to be closed to cars permanently. City engineers are now working with neighborhood groups, volunteer-based organizations like Neighborhood Greenways, to bring together residents in designing alternative visions for streets. Over the summer, on the other side of the country, Pittsburgh rolled out a Bike Plus plan. As the number of people opting to walk and bike exploded, this plan enabled the city to slow down car traffic on even more streets. Now, Pittsburgh has a long-standing commitment to innovation, and this Bike Plus plan helps usher into the transportation system new innovative forms of mobility. It might be that dusty Schwinn hanging on the garage, now refurbished with battery power, a cargo bike, or an electric three-wheeled variant of a bike that provides more comfort, safety, or protection from the weather. You see, these types of modes, they can serve mostly the same purpose as cars, trucks, SUVs, but they do so using a third of the space to get around. And these new modes, they can be great for older people or those without a car, so that they can run errands or visit friends. You see, Pittsburgh is redesigning their city streets now to accommodate more of these human-scaled vehicles. They're doing so by dropping the average speed limits on select streets from 30 miles per hour to 20. This 10 miles per hour difference, in the case of a crash, can save lives. And what we're seeing is that they're redesigning 50 miles of streets over the next 2 years to bring in more welcoming environments for Bike Plus type vehicles. And in so doing, they're ensuring that technological advances meet the needs of humans and not cars. Further, the Bike Plus plan is helping the city reduce transportation-related emissions 50% by 2030, all while expanding affordable access to jobs and destinations. I'm excited to keep an eye on Pittsburgh as they share lessons for street transformations with other cities moving forward. We also looked at Austin, Texas, a city always on the fastest growing cities list. Now, that growth can be good, but the residents have felt the strain. They too launched a Healthy Streets program, opening up select streets to just walking and cycling. Now, this action proved valuable in helping residents realize and broaden the benefit of their tax dollars that typically pay to serve cars. New designs were implemented on South Congress, the iconic Main Street of Texas in downtown Austin. We see in these historic photos how this stretch of road has changed character over time, evolving with advances in technology, civic priorities, or public preferences. With City Council's direction, this stretch of road now has 2 fewer lanes of car traffic. A third of the street space was given over to people bicycling and rolling on scooters, taking them off the busy sidewalks better suited for dining under the oak trees and giving them increased comfort and safety. Austin residents recently and overwhelmingly approved more than $7 billion in an unprecedented bond referendum, a nice chunk of which is going to just transform streets for active mobility and safety. Hundreds of low-cost, high-impact projects are going to help build out a new bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure for residents of all ages and abilities. Seattle, Pittsburgh, Austin, and other leading communities, they've all done their research. More than half of all car trips in urban and suburban areas are less than 4 miles. Think about a trip to the grocery store, to the gym, or to grab a bite to eat. Unlike a few years ago, we now have more mobility options for these short hops to be easily satisfied using vehicles that are lighter, cleaner, and greener. Now, we didn't need a pandemic or 80% reduction in our local economies to realize that our love affair with cars has lost its luster. But the public emergency helped spur quick change. We can now build on this momentum and push it further. You see, COVID-19 has allowed us to time travel to see what our cities would be like in 10 years when there's other ways of getting around town and the car is not always king. We're past sitting indifferent as multi-ton vehicles go hurling by our homes at highway speed. Cars are too big for these short trips. We don't need insulated hiking boots to attend ballet class. Within 20 minutes of where most of us live, that is, in our existing communities, we already have the goods and services that we access on a daily or weekly basis. Streets are the single largest physical asset in cities. They are owned by the public, and we can get more out of them to achieve our goals. But to do so, we need to open up our aperture and look beyond having them always be set up for cars. Rethinking streets ramps up our climate crisis plans nationwide. It draws into focus how these spaces are engines for equity by adopting new formula for how infrastructure resources can be spent to increase accessibility for all. And let's not lose sight of another public health crisis, the number of people who die in car crashes, equal to a Boeing 737 going down every other day. The city actions that I've described document how streets can change to accommodate emerging cost-effective solutions, all without sacrificing much comfort, convenience, or accessibility. 100 years ago, as cities were grappling with issues of clean water and safe housing, streets were handed over to a relatively narrow goal of maximizing vehicular traffic flow. Now, owing to technological, economic, and environmental change, we hold in our hand the prospects for a much brighter future. And we know how to get there. We're in a once-in-a-century situation with the pandemic. We have the public's attention. Repurposing streets by inviting smaller vehicles into our lives and de-emphasizing cars is possible. The evidence shows us that in the long run, we'll save money, lives, and we'll make our communities more just and resilient. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. It's so cool to hear what other cities are doing around the country. What about you? What COVID-era innovations are you going to keep post-pandemic? Pop them in the chat. One of the reasons I was so excited to host TEDxMileHigh this year is that it's free and accessible to people around the world. That's one of the biggest advantages of a virtual event. We'll see how things shake out tonight, but when I spoke at TEDxMileHigh this past December, we had viewers tuning in from 62 countries. Isn't that crazy? Our team decided to make this event free. but producing it still requires a tremendous level of resources, particularly for a small nonprofit. If you're watching this, we rely on your generosity to make our future TEDxMileHigh events possible. So, I invite you to donate. Every $250 in donations underwrites 25,000 views of our talks around the world and provides access for a dozen attendees. And here's an added incentive for you. We recently launched our membership program, which you can review in our event program. If you donate $50 or more, you'll become a TEDxMileHigh insider and receive invites to exclusive events and programming. As I said, every $250 we raise underwrites 25,000 views on our videos, provides free access to a dozen attendees, and covers the cost of our speaker coaching program and incubation platform. It's all pretty straightforward, right? So, here's what world-renowned TEDxMileHigh speaker Theo E.J. Wilson has to say about donating to TEDxMileHigh.
Hey everyone out there, how you doing? This is Theo E.J. Wilson, and I am very happy to be here. So when it comes to the effect of my TED Talk on my life, there is literally a demarcation line in my biography before and after A Black Man Goes Undercover and the Alt-Right was released. It had 1 million the first day, and this rocket ride from out of obscurity into the national spotlight. Once an idea hits the TEDxMileHigh stage and it goes out into the world, those tend to pick up steam in unforeseen ways. The world needs these things right now more than ever. You know, one of the ways to improve the world is not to protest the old world, but to invent the new world. And you can bet that when a better world is invented, there will be TEDx ideas that are part of the machinery of the solutions to our problems today. This is the game plan. The game plan is to make sure that we stay providing the kind of quality that you're used to and that you can share out and be proud of as residents of the Mile High and the state of Colorado in general. So by all means, keep this going. Let us continue to bless you with what we have to give in terms of these wonderful ideas that go out to the world. Thank you very much.
While you're considering a donation, I want to highlight an opportunity during the intermission. We're excited to collaborate with one of our key partners, FEMA, on a virtual exhibit, which you can find in the digital program or click the link shared in the chat. This exhibit showcases the work that they do before, after, and during disasters. You can learn why flood risk actually increases following fires, including the devastating fires we've had right here in Colorado. I also want to thank Janus Henderson Investors, a global investment firm helping clients in Colorado and around the world reach their financial goals with a lineup of diverse options. Janus Henderson invested in connecting. Now, if you watched the inauguration in January, you probably remember Amanda Gorman, the incredible slam poet from Los Angeles. At TEDxMileHigh, we've been a huge fan of performance poetry for a long, long time. And lucky for us, Colorado has one of the most competitive, talented, and diverse slam poet communities in America. If you're a slam fan, you know what to do in the chat. Next up is Nigerian-American poet, playwright, voice actress, clothing designer, mother of 5, and breaker of chains. She represented Slam Nuba at the Women of World Poetry Slam from 2015 to 2017. She is the author of Did You Die Though? Poems, Pay for Passports, 7 Coffins and Shake Something. Please welcome Confidence Omanai.
It is obscene the way white fragility plagues Black people to death. We die Black in custody, Black in the ER, Black in the OR, Black in labor, Black driving, Black jogging, Black with a degree, Black in a hoodie, Black in a suit, Black at the wrong door, Black at the wrong party, Black at the wrong school, Black with no bail, Black with no witnesses, Black and autistic, Black with COVID, Black and gay, Black and trans, Black with heads bowed in prayer to a God who can't click over, ironic, a triune without three-way, died Black and pretty, Black and too smart for our own good, equals smarter than you, died Black with our hands up, backs turned, on our feet, on our knees, with your knees on our necks, begging to breathe, died Black and sleeping in her bed. Be grateful you aren't burning yet. All my poems are about this fire. Every 5 o'clock hour, we are bathed in the blood of innocence. Every network needs its pound of flesh. I've stopped watching the news, turned off the TV, shield our eyes from the pain. We skim the morning papers. My daughters are old enough to read between the lines. They are armed with dangerous questions. Where was the last one? Will the next one be closer? Will you die? Will I die? Are we safe? I want to tell them that children don't die. Villains do not harm the innocent. You are the innocent. No one dies in cartoons. Our life is a cartoon. Guns pointed at babies shoot confetti and flags that say bang. No bullets, no wounds, no perpetually rocking empty arms, no fractured fathers riddled with grief. I want to tell them that we live happily ever after. Death has no sting. The end will never come for us. Tomorrow is promised. We always live to fight another day. We are invincible. But I can't. So I tell them, we are Phoenix. Rise from ashes, Middle Passage, Nat Turner, kill Massa, free Huey, Black Panther, proud lineage of Black Wall Street, Edo priestess, born of Choctaw warrior, we cut heads. You are because I am, and I am because they were the stuff of legend. Our ancestors built this civilization. Do not fear it. Mother does not fear child. I gave birth to you. Can take you out if I have to. We gave birth to this world. Can take it out if we have to. Rest easy, daughters, if they come for us. Your mama is always ready.
Confidence, that was incredible. What a way to end session 1. Before we go to intermission, what's the favorite thing you've heard so far tonight? Let us know in the chat. We have an incredible lineup for session 2, so I'll see you back here in 20 minutes sharp. Thanks. Hey everyone, welcome back to session 2. We've got 3 incredible speakers and a show-stopping performance. But first, if you checked out our exhibit with FEMA, what's a fun fact you learned during the intermission that you can share with everyone? Pop it in the chat. Now, in December, we had our very first performance in Spanish, and we're excited to keep it rolling. She's a Latin pop artist who has performed at venues and festivals across her home state of Colorado. Her music is about social issues, including gun violence and police brutality, with a goal to weaponize joy through music and use it in the fight for social justice. Please welcome Lolita.
Too often we are stripped of our power. Far too many young people being robbed of their lives by gunfire, police brutality, meaningless violence. At times it can feel like there's nothing we can do about it. But our voices united can change the world. This is for all my people. Toda mi gente. The universe is inside your eyes, bright like a million smiles. Spread your wings like a butterfly. Even with the world on fire, aquí quedamos peleando, con todo el mundo a tu lado, bailando siempre riéndonos. Toda mi gente say oh, eh, oh. They shoot us down, down, shut it down, oh, eh, oh. Ya basta con la injusticia, no. Pero el espíritu no muere. Balas vuelan, oh, oh, como pájaros, oh, oh, por las tardes, oh, oh, en las calles, oh, oh. Balas vuelan, oh, oh, como pájaros, oh, oh, matándonos, oh, oh, toda mi gente, oh, oh. Toda mi gente, oh. This is for my people on lockdown. This is for my people they shot down. They keep us on a need-to-know basis, giving us long faces, but we gotta keep believing and walk proud. This is a march for madness. It's time to spark the masses. Chin up, get up, let's fight the fascists. Toda mi gente, oh. They shoot us down, down, shut it down, oh, oh. Ya basta con la injusticia, no. Pero el espíritu no muere. Balas vuelan, oh, oh, como pájaros, oh, oh, por las tardes, oh, oh, en las calles, oh, oh. Balas vuelan, oh, oh, como pájaros, oh, oh, matándonos, oh, oh, toda mi gente, oh, oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Big Samir with the reminders.
1, 2.
Toda mi
Yeah.
gente, oh.
Hey. 1, 2, how y'all feeling? I see it too often, people still suffering from gun violence, poverty, dysfunction. We need freedom, justice, and true power. Unite, rise up, and be our own savior. For liberation, honor, equality. Let's upset the system with dignity. We had enough, it's time to stop stressing. Respect and love life, more blessings.
They shoot us down, down, shut it down, oh, oh. Ya basta con la injusticia, no.
Tell 'em.
Pero el espíritu no muere, matándonos, oh, oh, toda mi gente, oh.
Come on.
Como pájaros, oh, oh, por las tardes, oh, oh, en las calles, oh, oh, balas vuelan, oh, oh, como pájaros, oh, oh, matándonos, oh, oh, toda mi gente, oh, oh.
Lolita, that was incredible. Special thanks to Big Samir of The Reminders and producer DMD. Let's see how many languages we have represented in the audience today. If you're fluent in a language other than English, pop it in the chat. Awesome. Up next is an anthropologist and a professor at the University of Denver. Her research focuses on Latin America, migration, borders, and the intersection between immigration and labor rights in the U.S. She's currently writing a new book, Unjust Wages: Day Laborers and Advocates Fighting Wage Theft from a Mile High. Please welcome Rebecca Galimba.
When you work, you expect to be paid for it. You don't expect to be paid less than you were promised, or worse, nothing at all. But that's exactly what's happening to millions of Americans who work in a range of industries. It's especially a problem in agriculture, construction, restaurants, garment factories, poultry plants, nursing homes, in day labor, and among independent contractors. It's called wage theft, and chances are that you or someone you know has experienced it. Wage theft occurs when individuals do not receive their legally owed wages and benefits. Wage theft can take many forms: paying below the minimum wage, withholding earned benefits, overtime, breaks, or tips, misclassifying employees as independent contractors, and even outright non-payment. The Economic Policy Institute estimates that workers are losing $50 billion a year to wage theft, but most people haven't even heard of the problem. If it's hard to picture $50 billion, consider this: yearly economic losses to auto theft, robbery, and burglary combined come to much less, at $14 billion a year. Wage theft impacts more than just the workers who don't get their wages. It lowers wages in those workplaces and across entire industries. Plus, it robs communities of tax dollars. And even more broadly, it rewards cheating, undermines competition, and creates a race to the bottom that hurts us all. Although wage theft impacts many industries, my research focuses on one of the most vulnerable sectors: day laborers, most of whom are immigrants from Latin America who seek daily work for cash. You may have seen day laborers at a worker center, outside a home improvement store, or on a street corner. On a typical morning at a street corner hiring site, trucks screech to a halt and employers yell out how many workers they need and the pay rate, and workers rush to the passenger side window. Day laborers may just have a couple of minutes to negotiate their wages, hours, and working conditions, all in competition with other workers, and frequently with limited English proficiency. This rapid pace of the hiring process, unstable work, lack of immigration status, and working in one of the least regulated sectors of the economy makes day laborers particularly vulnerable to wage theft, as well as other forms of exploitation, harassment, and victimization. Since 2015, my research has focused on immigrant day laborers' experiences with wage theft in Colorado. I've also trained teams of graduate students as field workers and taken them out to street corners and Denver's worker center, El Centro Humanitario. In total, we interviewed 170 day laborers and conducted a follow-up survey of over 400. Day laborer Bernal's story demonstrates how wage theft happens. Bernal was recruited at a street corner hiring site in Denver, Colorado by an employer who then drove him 70 miles away for a construction project. Bernal worked from 9 in the morning until late at night. When the work was completed, his employer didn't pay him. What's more, he stranded him in the parking lot over an hour from home. The employer told him, "Tomorrow I'll come back and pay you. I didn't bring any money." When Bernal insisted on being paid, the employer relented and gave him a check. But when Bernal went to cash that check, it had no funds. So then he was stuck with a bounced check fee on top of his unpaid wages. Bernal's story shows in many ways employers try to cheat workers out of their wages. They strand them far from home. They promise to pay later. They claim they don't have the money to pay, or they issue checks with insufficient funds. Employers often say that wage theft is an accident. But day laborers' experiences show how it can be a patterned and intentional practice to benefit at workers' expense. Sadly, Bernal's story is not unique. My survey results found that 62% of day laborers had experienced wage theft, and 19% just in the 6 months prior to being surveyed. When day laborers try to confront employers for their unpaid wages, they may stop answering the phone, change their numbers, or even threaten the worker. Because day laborers work informally and off the books, some employers, they claim to have never hired the worker at all. Some employers vaguely, or even directly, threaten to call immigration when workers speak up or complain. This is illegal, but employers get away with it anyway. That's because retaliation protections are weak, and immigrant day laborers don't tend to come forward because they don't trust the system to protect them. U.S. wage and hour laws require employers to pay wages for all work completed regardless of legal status. Otherwise, there's a perverse incentive to cheat. However, the labor rights enforcement system is under-resourced and largely depends on individuals to come to it to pursue cases. That's a big ask for anyone, and especially for vulnerable populations like day laborers. Not only does it take a good amount of legal knowledge to even know where to begin, but there's also a steep opportunity cost. Day laborers worry about spending days, weeks, months, even years chasing unpaid wages when they could just be out working the next job. They also worry about retaliation. That's why many workers never file or give up their claims. As many workers said, they don't want to go around fighting. So wage theft continues because employers know they're likely to get away with it. That doesn't mean that day laborers do nothing to prevent wage theft or try to upgrade their working conditions. At street corners, day laborers try to organize a wage floor to prevent undercutting and warn workers of employers with bad reputations when they walk by. For example, they shout, "This one doesn't pay," to blacklist employers who've mistreated workers in the past. Other strategies include only accepting cash, not checks, and insisting on getting paid every day rather than waiting for employers who promise to pay at the end of the week or even bi-monthly. Still, day laborers recognize that due to lack of work and employers' relative power over them, that there's no guarantee. Only half of day laborers who'd experienced wage theft did anything to recover their unpaid wages, including even asking their employer for the money they owed them. Just a third took the additional step of seeking assistance from others. As many workers told me and student researchers, there's nothing you can do. Every year, when I collaborate with students on this project, some students tell me that they realize that they too have experienced wage theft. They're in quite different positions than immigrant day laborers, but also work in industries that are prone to wage theft, such as childcare, restaurants, bars, and in low-paid and non-paid internships. In fact, 500,000 Coloradans suffer wage theft every year. The nature of work is changing. We've seen it in the rise of freelancing, independent contracting, piece rate and part-time work, and contingent work. Not only has there been a resurgence of day labor, but more jobs look increasingly a lot like day labor, even if that's not what we would call them. Of course, there's a lot of flexibility and competitiveness that comes from these new kinds of jobs. But there also can be risks when they're also increasingly characterized by low pay, no benefits, job insecurity, lack of employer responsibility, and are primed for labor violations like wage theft. They may be further prone to labor practices that are quite harmful and humiliating, but perfectly legal. U.S. labor laws are still based on relatively traditional definitions and relationships between employers and their employees. Work arrangements that increasingly carve workers out of employee status not only lessen employers' responsibilities, but make it all the more challenging to hold them accountable for labor violations as well as unsafe working conditions. Wage theft's not exceptional. It's just one more way we've undermined workers in the name of profit and flexibility. It's critical to update labor rights enforcement to better evolve towards a changing nature of work. But that's not enough. We also need to rethink and upgrade employment so that people's work can actually support their lives. And when we look for contractors to remodel our homes, look for childcare, or eat out in restaurants, we need to ask more questions, not just about the quality of a job or a service, or even where the ingredients in our food come from, but also attuned to how workers are being paid and being treated. When we see rapid construction growth in our cities, we see signs of development and of progress. But we should also ask, for whom and at what cost? The insecurity and risks of day labor should worry all of us about the future of work. unless we transform our approach to whose lives and labor matter. Thank you.
Rebecca, thank you for sharing such an important idea with us. This is our 25th event in just 10 years, which hasn't happened without extraordinary partners. I want to thank a couple of our key partners once again. We partnered with FEMA, which you can learn about in the digital program. The exhibit explores the work they do before, during, and after disasters. For this event, they're sharing the increased flood risk that communities can face after fires. You can review the recording of this discussion after the event or later this weekend. And thank you to Janus Henderson Investors, a global investment firm helping clients in Colorado and around the world reach their financial goals with a lineup of diverse options. Janus Henderson, invested in connecting. This year, we reached a major milestone, 100 million views of our videos online. Just a few years ago, we only had 5 million views, but TEDxMileHigh has grown its impact tremendously. We're committed to a meaningful and lasting change over decades to come. And we're looking for several new strategic partners. If you want to contribute financially to a fast-growing cultural institution and align your organization with community and innovation, this is a great way to do it. To learn more, please contact Jeremy Duhan, curator at jeremy@TEDxMileHigh.com. We're excited to announce our next event, TEDxMileHigh, all together, on June 26th. We encourage you to register for this free virtual event. I got a sneak peek at the lineup of speakers, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. I know from experience that there is only one way to overcome the biggest challenges of our time, and that's all together. We're excited to have here the MC of TEDxMileHigh All Together, Dr. Nita Mosby Tyler. Well, hello, my friend. How are you doing?
Great in this crazy land that we're in.
It is literally insane.
Yeah.
And we have so much to talk about.
We do. How much time do you have?
Man, tell me about it, right? Let's try to keep it concise, but it's just so much. And I know that you have been going through so much and leading our community as we've been in these uncharted waters. So,
well, the feeling is mutual, my friend. You've been doing the same. I'm happy to be able to do it right with you.
Thank you. Thank you. So you are a viral sensation now. It's so exciting to hear how your talk has blown up to over 2 million views. How does that feel?
I can't believe it. Yeah. And who knew in 2019, when I thought all I needed to be talking about was how to be an ally, would turn into I need you to be a verb, not a noun.
Right.
Need you to be an active ally or an accomplice. Who knew this was going to happen? But, you know, at the same time, I think it was such a timely talk, but I had no idea it would be viral.
Yeah. Well, the theme for this whole TEDxMileHigh is Uncharted. And so it has been uncharted. I mean, 2020, which has been completely uncharted. We have no idea what we were getting ourselves into. So thinking about your talk then and now, what has changed in this uncharted landscape that we're in?
You know, even in 2019, I realized that people really were interested in knowing how to get engaged. They were already asking those questions ahead of a lot of the crises that happened in 2020. So I knew even at that moment that it was a galvanizing time in history for us to be thinking about how we might take what we thought was justice into what we needed to do to advance justice. And the talk really was born out of that. And then I got to be really honest with you, I'm aging. And as I age, it's important for me to start telling stories of the past so that we have context for what we're doing. And my talk was really contextually around some stories of my past as well.
Yeah, it was a really beautiful talk. And especially as you overlay like your past and how you grew up and where we are now. So you've recently had a name change.
I did.
Well, tell me about that.
I'm reclaiming my name. You know, my story is I was not born Nita. I was born Dwinita, Dwinita. And it was told very early on in my career from a mentor that was white that my name was not going to work.
It's too black, huh?
It was too black.
Yeah.
And that people would decide who I was, how to evaluate me based on that name. And it was in that era that I cut my name in half and became Nita. And I've decided that there's been a lot of pain in my life because I never was whole, even in my own name. And so reclaiming everything in my life is important, but my name in particular. And I've decided now's the time to do it.
I think it's so amazing. When I saw you post about that on social media, it really did like stir something up in me, like how this year we have really changed the shape of this country, but it hasn't been without struggle and without some also internal reckoning of who we are. And so reclaiming your name in the midst of this fight for racial justice and this racial reckoning that we're in right now, I mean, it was empowering to see someone who were already empowered by saying that I wasn't whole until I reclaimed my name.
Yeah, it's so true. You know, I've been thinking about, and I bet you have too, in all of the wonderful work you're doing across the country and in our state. We are a country that's used to normalizing things. And we will normalize even the worst things and figure out a way to navigate around them. We just are resilient in that way. And I think in many ways, my name and other things that we could probably all list are examples of us normalizing things because that's what we do well in this country. I say we got to get to the point where we want to be accountable for things instead of just normalizing things, and to be accountable for racial justice and accountable for people being able to be wholly and fully who they are. That's where we ought to be right now.
So what does that look like? I mean, we use this word accountability a lot, you know? We're going to be accountable in this or that. And so what does accountability look like in this era?
So I have this debate a lot with my young children. And I have to tell you, I've got one answer to your question. I'm probably oversimplifying it. I think you can't be accountable if you don't know what the systems are doing in the first place. I think at a cursory level, we know that our systems in the U.S. were not built with equity in mind. We know they weren't built for people that look just like you and me.
Right.
We know that part.
Right.
What I don't know that we know deeply is how intricately tied one system is to another. And so to dismantle one system really can create another effect in another system, because I think they're all webbed together.
Absolutely.
And we've got to go deeper on the interplay between the systems. I don't see us doing that as much, and that's the work that I'm really interested in.
Absolutely. I mean, during this time of COVID and racial reckoning, I think we have seen the inequalities around police brutality, right? Just rise up to the top. But we also see the inequalities in healthcare, right? In our healthcare system and in education and in so many other sectors are really bubbling to the surface. They've already always been there, but they're bubbling to the surface, and they are connected. And so this past summer of protest was not just about one thing. It was about all of that interconnected systems that we really do need to work on changing. I know I'm committed to that work, and I know you are too. So
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for continuing to speak on that.
Well, thank you for that. And I think the more people like you and people like me can begin to talk about the intersections of the system flaws, the better for people. We can't solve this one system at a time. We have to have a strategy for looking at the interconnectedness of the system so we get it all done at once. I don't want our children to suffer in the education system because we're over here talking about policing. We should be able to see the relationship between the two, and healthcare and housing, and it goes on and on and on. But the more we can talk like that, and I know that you do that in your work, But the more we can get everyone acculturated to talking like that in that intersectional way, I do think we'll have equity in our sight line, at least in my lifetime.
That's amazing. I love that hope too, right? Like we can actually make change, right? If we think about things a little bit bigger, right? And more connected at the same time.
Yeah.
So I love that. So you mentioned your conversations with your young folks, and I'm dealing with some youngins as well. But it really was them out front of these protests and out in front of this conversation this past year in a way that I don't quite remember in my lifetime. And I think it's really empowering and amazing to see that our country is going to be led by these young folks, right? I mean, that is hope. But I've also felt like there was something missing. And for me, that's been our elders, folks who have mentored me and guided us through really hard times in the past, just haven't really been as much of the conversation as before. What do you think about that, and how are folks who are young and in these protests really going to connect with our elders for that wisdom that we need?
Well, I appreciate you, first of all, saying what you're saying. I can't believe I'm getting ready to say this because I've known you so long that I now can call myself your elder.
I don't know. I'll take it, but there's definitely a lot of respect there.
I think that's right from an age standpoint.
Yeah. Well, you don't age, so whatever you want to say.
I love that. I appreciate you saying that. Well, here's what I think. I agree with you 100%. I was so proud to see what young people across the globe were doing in 2020. And the difference between young people in 2020 and young people of the past is this is a generation of young people that do not see this work as optional. It's not an episode. It's not a snapshot. And I love that. That's where my hope sits, in that it is not optional. But when it comes to elders and the missing link, because I agree with you there too, I do think it's missing. I think the thing that's missing is we haven't painted the face of who the new elder is.
Interesting.
So I don't think the current elder is the old elder. I think there's a new set of elders, but we're not calling them that. And so I think we miss an opportunity to engage their wisdom and their storyline. And I don't want us to miss that generation. I'm sitting in the boomer generation, and there's a 1960s story that's really relevant. It's where I grew up. It's really relevant to what's going on today, but we're missing, I think, that middle elder story because we're looking for the elders that came before us because that's what we're accustomed to. So I think we're going to have to engage differently what eldership looks like, and I think we've got to get more people to operate in many ways like our young people are. This is not an option kind of work.
In this time, especially during the movement for Black lives and just the rise of conversation around Blackness and anti-Blackness, I sometimes can have a myopic view of the conversation. My lens is Black, my lens is queer, and it's female. But there are other communities that are going through this journey with us. And you actually work with a lot of different communities, a lot of different backgrounds. So tell me what you're seeing in your work and kind of what communities need that might be different and might be the same.
Yeah, I appreciate that question because I think it's something we don't talk enough about, and it is the nuances in different kinds of communities around the topic of anti-racism, Blackness, white supremacy. So my work, fortunately, takes me around the globe, which is a lot easier when you're virtual. But I get to work with sometimes communities that you don't expect to be doing this work, like in some cases, rural communities that are actively in anti-racism work, where the audience is completely white. Sometimes the audience is completely conservative, yet we're in conversations about what it is to be an anti-racist organization and what it is to be anti-racist. Those particular communities, I can't generalize, but generally speaking, those particular communities are just at a different part of the continuum of understanding, a willingness to do something and not all of the tools to understand what they need to do. Sometimes that means we have to go backwards and play back some of the history in this country around anti-Blackness. That's the work that I do. And then sometimes I'm in a different country where you would expect that maybe things might be a little different than they are in the US, only to find out that some of the things are exactly the same. And so in those cases, I will adapt anti-Blackness conversations to what's going on culturally in that country. I just recently did some work in Australia. There is a race and ethnicity issue to tackle there, and lots of healthy dialogue about how to apply it. When it comes to BIPOC communities, now we are the leaders in knowing all about our own oppressions.
Right.
We are scholars in that, and so we don't need to necessarily hear that, but we need to hear the other side of the story. What is that other side of the story of anti-racism work? What are white people doing? And how often are they getting to hear those stories? So I get a chance to work in all kinds of pockets of people across the globe. And for me, to be able to put that tapestry together gets at some of the systems work that I think we have to do. We have to stop generalizing that there's one way to do it.
Right.
Because there are multiple ways to do it. The theme is the same. We want to eradicate anything that's anti-Black.
Right.
That's the common thread. Right. How you go about doing it really qualifies itself based on actually who you're working with.
Well, tell me about that. I mean, I think the thing that I hear the most questions about is, how do I have a conversation with someone who is denying that racism is even real or anti-Blackness is even real? How do I have a conversation with that person? So can you give me one way to have that conversation?
Yeah, I think whenever you have a person that's in denial about a thing being true, the question is whether you really want them to understand it, or do you need to win this debate? Yeah. And right, and so in many ways what I find is when people are operating, one set of people operating in anger because this is pain, and one set of people operating in denial, sometimes not because they don't believe it's true, it's because they can't hold the guilt of being complicit in it. Oftentimes, that's really what it is. When you've got both of those emotions happening at the same time, you will likely get these polar opposite views. I try to get at that right up front in my work. I walk into the work saying, some of you might not even believe this is a thing. So rather than me try to convince you that's a thing, let me show you what institutionalized and systemic racism looks like in a system. Let me show you. And typically what I will do is take a fact from the past and roll it forward. The problem is people hear us say systemic and institutionalized racism, but then we can't put our finger on what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to deny. Yeah. So for example, you know this one well, if you take polling taxes from the past, just take polling taxes. Yeah. Meant to disenfranchise Black voters, roll it forward. Roll it to 2021. What do we have as residual from polling taxes of the past that exists today? Yeah. And when you do that, Leslie, people can name gerrymandering, redistricting,
voter ID laws.
They can name it in seconds, just like that. Yeah. So I take the fact and roll it forward. That's how I get to people that deny that things exist. You have to show them the residual of something in order for them to understand it.
Yeah, I love the roll it forward. I think that's something that we can all remember. And then in these conversations, try to figure out a way to tie that link. Start with something that we commonly understand, like we all know and commonly understand that this type of racism existed back in the past. But do you know how it's carried forward today?
Yes.
That's a great way to approach it. So my last question is, a lot of this has taken its toll on Black communities especially, but all of us, in kind of reliving this trauma, right? Or scraping off those wounds. So what are you doing to heal and to stay whole in this conversation so that the work can roll forward and continue?
I really appreciate you naming what people are feeling. We are in a cycle of grief, and you just called it out. And I think the more we can call what we're feeling what it is, then it's easier to do something with it. So I am clear that in particular in this country, Black people are in grief. And I use the cycle of grief for my healing. And it just depends on where you are in the cycle of grief. I'm in this stage called bargaining in the grief cycle. It's where you start to try to make meaning out of things that kind of don't make sense. it forces you to tell your own story a lot more, and it forces you to ask people to tell their stories. That's what happens in bargaining. That's where I am. And so my healing is staying pretty astute about where I sit in the grief cycle and where I'm seeing other people in the grief cycle. Denial, anger, depression, acceptance right before they move out of the grief cycle. So I think the more we can pay attention to where we each are in the grief cycle, it's actually easier to know what our relationships can be and what our relationships need to be.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm going to have to think about where I am in that cycle. You know, I think that's a great way to put it too. All right. Well, Dr. Nita, my friend, thank you so much for this conversation. It's always good to sit with you and to share a space with you. So thank you. And thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Nita. You can register for All Together right now. Let us know in the chat if you're coming. As I mentioned earlier, we made the decision to provide this event free for all to expand the access we provide to the community. To support our future programming, I encourage you to become a TEDxMileHigh Insider, our annual membership program. Every $100 goes towards creating a platform to spread big ideas, education, and community impact, which is needed now more than ever. Plus, you'll get some cool member benefits. Here's an overview of the program. Check out what TED speaker Paula Stone Williams has to say about why she donates.
We live in a polarized society in which people do change their minds, but not unless information comes to them in a non-threatening way. The best way to do that is by telling stories with big ideas. It was my privilege in the fall of 2017 to speak for the TEDxMileHigh Wonder event on transitioning genders, my journey from Paul to Paula. That talk has been viewed over 4 million times. I've heard from women on all 7 continents thanking me for validating their experience. And yes, that does include Antarctica. Jeremy and Helena and the team at TEDxMileHigh curate amazing events with world-class speakers who tell compelling stories about bringing about change in climate and bringing about a more just and equitable world. Did you know that just $100 that you give to TEDxMileHigh will bring 10,000 views to one of the TEDxMileHigh talks? I don't think you can find a better return on your investment. I consider it a privilege to be a donor to TEDxMileHigh because I want to make a difference. I want to leave this world better than I found it. And I'm convinced that becoming a donor to TEDxMileHigh and joining them in their work is the best way for us to create a healthier planet and a more equitable world. Thank you.
As you heard, this is our 25th event in just 10 years. It takes a huge team of committed people working year-round to produce an event like this. And I want to recognize our team and advisors and all of our volunteers. Thank you. Our final presenter is an epidemiology professor with chronic COVID syndrome, also called long COVID. She has a bachelor's in psychology, a master's in health psychology, a doctorate in social epidemiology and public health. She currently teaches at Lamar University. She was awarded a special recognition by Congressman Joaquin Castro for the advancement of social justice. Here to close out the program is Margo, Gage, Wits Fleet.
I have 2 daughters, both born naturally and without an epidural. And I'm not telling you this to make you squeamish, but to highlight that I'm not a lightweight when it comes to pain. So when I say that COVID-19 was the worst pain that I've ever experienced in my life, I'm not exaggerating. COVID-19 almost killed me several times. And before you think, surely this woman must be sickly or had pre-existing health conditions prior to spring of 2020, I will also share with you that I had none. I'm a person who's never really sick. I don't get the flu each year. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm not a heavy drinker. I eat healthy. I exercise regularly. I have no autoimmune diseases. My genetics are strong. My great-great-grandmother lived to be 98. My great-great-grandfather, 103. My great-grandmother, 99. My grandmother would still be alive today had she not lost her battle with COVID-19. My doctors describe me as being medically boring. You should also know I'm a professor and social epidemiologist. So given that I'm a health expert, I was surprised when doctors showed a pattern of not listening to me and not believing me when I came to them for help. But that's exactly what happened. When I initially got sick back in March 2020, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't think it was COVID-19. I didn't fit the description. I was young and fit. But knowing what we know now about COVID-19 and looking back, I had just taken a trip from Amsterdam to Paris, and I was on one of the last flights allowed back into the US. There were sick people on my flight. There was a guy coughing the whole way. I only saw 2 people wearing masks, and I was not one of them. When I landed, the TSA workers were not wearing masks. They had a pile of PPE gear piled on the desk, unopened. My plane landed on March 2nd of 2020, and roughly 10 days later, I started experiencing my first symptoms. My husband, daughters, and I were all sick at about the same time for about a week, but I just kept getting sicker. At one point, it felt like an elephant had sat on my chest, and I thought, oh my, am I having a heart attack? I called my doctor and he prescribed a Z-Pack. Later that night, I experienced my first bout of chills, and that's when my COVID-19 roller coaster ride first began. Very quickly in those first few weeks, my list of symptoms became a mile long, but doctors didn't believe that I had COVID-19. By the 3rd week of March, I went to the ER for the first time for severe shortness of breath. I got tested for the flu and COVID-19. I had one of the first non-FDA approved tests in Texas, and my test came back negative. So that's one of the reasons doctors thought I didn't have COVID-19. But I knew something was wrong, so I was asking myself, had these doctors never heard of false negatives? Surely something was wrong with me. My actual test results had a warning label on them that said, if the test comes back negative, you need to take the entire patient's history into account. In March, a few days after going to the ER the first time, I landed again in the ER for severe shortness of breath. And the doctors said to me, you don't have COVID-19 because you don't have a fever. And the CDC symptom list says you have to have a fever to have COVID-19. The nurse treating me said, I've been doing this for 30 years. She looked straight at me. She took her mask off and said, you're not going to die. You have blood clots, not COVID-19. After they did my CT scan, checking for blood clots, and it came back negative, all masks were on when they returned to the room. I never had a positive COVID-19 test, and I never had a fever, but my oxygen levels would drop regularly below 80%. And sometimes at night, it would even get down as low as 67%. After being released from the ER, I followed up with my PCP provider in April, and when I told her that at night, sometimes my oxygen levels would drop down to 67%, she told me that that wasn't possible and that my oximeter must be broken. I explained to her that it was not. And she said to me, ma'am, you don't have COVID-19, you have anxiety. It must be broken. Because in her words, and I quote, ma'am, your COVID-19 test came back negative. By April, for about a week, it seemed like things were looking up for me. I had seen a lung specialist who had prescribed me an anti-inflammatory medication that I'm sure saved my life. So it's hard for me to be upset with him about the fact that when I came to his office with my husband, he spoke with my husband instead of me. It was like I was a 9-year-old girl who had gone to the office visit with her father instead of a 38-year-old woman with a PhD. He ignored all of my other symptoms. He tapped on my chest for 2 seconds and then gave me a diagnosis of a respiratory illness. He then proceeded to prescribe me medication for anxiety and left the room. He's the same doctor who later prescribed me a prescription for oxygen at home, but I was the one who told him that I needed it, and I figured that out by accident because during my second visit to the ER, they put me on oxygen and I felt better. Later, news reports came out that oxygen helped patients with COVID-19. At this point, it was clear to me that it was patients and not doctors who were ahead of the curve with COVID-19. My lowest point came at the end of April. My mother and husband found me shaking with my eyes rolled back in my head, and I was rushed to the emergency room. And while there, doctors kept asking me again and again, had I taken any drugs? And I kept telling them no, I hadn't. But doctors didn't start treating me with compassion until my drug tests came back clean. And all the neurologists said to me when my MRI came back normal was that COVID-19 doesn't cause seizures, and my COVID-19 test was negative. But later on, news reports did indeed show that COVID-19 can trigger seizures, and it's the first known illness to break the blood-brain barrier. After that terrifying experience, I sat in a dark room with the curtains drawn, light and sound hurt. The sound of laughter from my daughters hurt. There were times when I needed a cane to walk. COVID-19 had ravaged my body and left me with chronic fatigue. I had neurological problems so severe that at one point I didn't remember my daughter's birthdays, and I would forget what I was doing in the middle of whatever it is that I was doing. Now I want to remind you that even though my situation is a nightmare and COVID-19 is a novel virus, I'm not special. I am no different from the people who have been struggling for years with chronic diseases. It is estimated that 40% of Americans suffer from a chronic illness. One day they're healthy, and then they're not. Some of these illnesses torment people from birth to death. Others, like Lyme disease or fibromyalgia, are mysterious. Like COVID-19, you're healthy, and then you're not. I'm telling you this to remind you that given that 40% figure, any one of us at any time could get sick. So what I'm about to say next could apply to you. Research for mysterious chronic illnesses is underfunded, and that's terrible. But what's really worrying is the pattern of medical providers not believing their chronic disease and COVID-19 patients. It's a pattern of not believing and not giving their patients, especially female patients and patients of color, the benefit of the doubt. There is so much research on patients reporting doctors not believing them or not treating them with the same level of compassion. It's unbelievable. And as a health expert, I knew these alarming statistics going into it, but I didn't think it would happen to me. Let's be real for a moment. We all have biases, but doctors, same as with teachers, judges, police officers, they need to train themselves to drop those biases at the door when they enter their workplace. Doctors who practice medicine while still holding on to their biases or are simply burned out are violating the trust of their patients. And trust is a key element to the patient-physician relationship. It's time for all of the medical community, not just some, to move forward. Here's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for my new male neurologist who did give me the benefit of the doubt. It was such a relief when everyone else I had encountered had discounted my situation. I'm also thankful for my new female lung doctor. She was the first doctor who actually took the time to look through my patient history. And when I told her about what happened to me with my first lung doctor, she told me that almost 50% of her female patients have the same complaints. I'm also thankful for my new male cardiologist and gastrologist who, instead of thinking that I was on drugs or had anxiety, actually advocated for me to get the tests that I needed. My new PCP doctor spent time talking with me about diabetes. She's the complete opposite of my first PCP doctor, who told me just to exercise more when my blood work came back flagged with diabetes. Clearly, she didn't know that COVID-19 is linked to diabetes and that COVID-19 and rigorous exercise doesn't mix. I'm lucky in that I could keep searching for compassionate doctors, but I know that not everybody has that luxury. Look, this pandemic has pushed doctors, nurses, and other frontline healthcare workers to the brink. And I have a documented history of being an avid supporter of first responders. And I believe that many deserve our deepest thanks and respect. But a lot of people with COVID-19 were sent away from hospitals or overlooked. And some of these people died because a doctor didn't believe them. COVID-19 has shown us that we need to have a serious discussion about the way medicine is practiced, especially in the face of the unknown. Doctors, on average, are an overachieving bunch. Otherwise, they would have never have made it so far educationally. And the worst thing for an overachiever to admit is that they don't know. But in the case of COVID-19, or the next unknown virus, doctors must learn to accept that it's okay to say, I don't know, that humility can save lives. From my perspective, listening and believing are the first steps in navigating the learning curve of a new illness. Making integrative medicine the norm is the next step. I am happy to report that I am a COVID-19 survivor. I don't like the label long hauler. It implies that I am in this for the long haul, and I am not. I am thankful that I can stand here today and say that I can get back to writing children's books with my daughters again, that I can read with them again, that I can dance with them again. I know there are so many women and men around the world who contracted COVID-19 and cannot say the same. Thank you.
Margo, thank you so much for sharing your story with us. And before we say goodnight, what's one element from today that you want to take with you? Let us know in the chat. And I want to thank you all for being a part of this event and for your support of TEDxMileHigh. The speakers have shared their ideas, their stories, and their views for the future. I appreciate you spending your time with us. Thanks, and good night.